Hello everyone, my name is Aldo Stornelli and welcome to this guidance video for your group presentation, recorded at the Lightboard studio here at Surrey Business School. In the next few minutes I'll give you an overview on how to develop your presentation, but bearing in mind that this is only a brief guidance video and that you should consult the assignment brief on Surrey Learn for the complete set of details and of course the requirements. Now starting with the presentation structure, as you know, it consists of 5 different sections. And the overall suggested number of slides is around 10 to 12. And of course in this table you also see a potential suggested number of slides for each of the section. Now of course you are more than welcome to include more slides and for each of the section, but please bear in mind that you have to deliver your presentation in 15 minutes and that everything you display and describe should be clearly communicated. So communication should be the key word here to follow for you. So moving on to section 1, what you need to do in this section is provide a brief overview of your company. Now just as a note here, although your assigned company is also linked to a Sage business case, please remember, as highlighted in the assignment brief, that of course this case is only your starting point and that you should conduct independent research that is then developed throughout the presentation. But going back to the introduction, in this section you are to describe the industry your company is in, the market, the competition. Of course, these are just some aspects and you may wish to describe it in however many ways you want, but making sure that you describe the history of the firm or where it was born and where it competes today. Again, just a brief overview, but also make sure that each point you make is supported with relevant references, and these can be company websites or market databases. So references is also another important thing to remember. So moving on to section 2, the analysis of the company. Here you're actually analyzing the digital transformation of the company. And you can do this using different tools and frameworks that we explored across the module. For example, the 4 Ps, but also the cyclic innovation model that you see here on the slide. You can also refer to the diffusion of innovation theory, maybe to explain how certain technologies, digital technologies diffused over time. Maybe some of the organizational characteristics and therefore referring to the ISO 56001. Or maybe some of the audit models that we explored in week 3. Now, whichever tool you use, whether it's one or a combination of these, just make sure that there's a critical analysis and that you're applying them with in-depth analysis. And so, of course, the same approach applies to what I said earlier, so that you need to support each of your points also with references. Now, I'd like to give you a quick run-through of the cyclic innovation model as a very useful model that you can use to develop this section. But please make sure that you have a look at week 2 for the correct and more detailed application of the model. So if we look at the top right corner, here's where you want to describe the product technologies that the firm invested in over time. The top left corner is mostly related to, has the firm conducted basic R&D? So beyond product applications. The bottom left corner is related to social sciences. So what were the policies and market trends that are relevant to this transformation? And the bottom right corner is instead related to the value proposition. Now, of course, there's a central element in this model, which is the entrepreneur. And that central node is effectively all about which activities did the firm invest in and fostered to develop all the different cycles or to activate the cycles. Now, of course, you do not have to apply and analyze your company with relevance to all the cycles. You may as well choose 2 of them, only the most relevant. So again, it's about quality and not quantity. Now, moving on to section 3, your pestle analysis, which I'm sure you are already familiar with, is the same approach in terms of supporting all your factors with references, and also in terms of how you want to present it, demonstrating critical analysis. So the table you see here on the slide is one way in which you could develop it. So as you can see, the factors, the detail, and the sources. And as an example, in the technological factors could be, for example, AI applications in manufacturing, and there, of course, you want a source to support that, which hypothetically could be Mintel 2025. And instead, moving on to section 4, your future considerations or future opportunities, you are effectively linking this to your pestle analysis. And again, just like section 2, you may wish to use different tools, one of which is the Product Innovation Charter, which you see here on the slide, but also the Pearson's map. Now again, here you're asking yourself the question, which digital technologies should the firm invest in? And by using a tool like the Product Innovation Charter, which you can have a look at in a real world example, and obviously a detailed work example for week 4, in the week 4 lecture, it will give you the opportunity to highlight these opportunities, specifically to maybe one product or service. And finally, the group reflection in section 5 is all about describing how you approach the work in your presentation. So, for example, you may wish to talk about the approach to teamwork, the databases that you use, and of course, the lessons learned. So effectively describing how you approach the overall research process of your presentation. So this was the end of the guidance video. I hope it was helpful, but of course you can be in touch if you have any questions about anything that I said here during the video. And the last thing that I will write on the board is, of course, good luck. Thank you.